Sleeping on a plane is hard, especially if you're in an economy seat. So we asked an expert for advice.
I'm an occupational therapist, industrial designer, and certified professional ergonomist. With seated sleep posture, not only do you fall into these awkward postures, but you're also compressing the vertebrae and your spine at the different levels. You have to plan ahead.
Here's what a professional ergonomist recommends for sleeping in an economy plane seat. First, you might consider using the tray table. But
the position using the tray table, if you're propping up on your forearms, that awkward positioning, the contact pressure against the tray table, all of that's going to irritate tissue in sleep just like it would during your waking hours.
Contact pressure happens when soft tissues are pressed against a hard surface for too long, slowing blood flow to your extremities and often causing numbness or tingling.
With soft tissue compression, you can compromise circulation. You can impinge nerves, which can lead to numbness or tingling, which will often wake people up.
Then there's your posture.
It's going to be difficult for you to maintain that posture very long because you will be experiencing excessive flexion at your hips and knees. Your spine will be rounded. You'll be putting pressure through your forearms.
The solve?
There are both inflatable and memory foam cushions available that start to at least address some of those risk factors, such as the contact pressure against the hard surface of the tray table by providing a soft surface for your body to rest. They can hold your arms, and then it also cradles your head and neck and your face in a way that attempts to at least position your head and neck in some sort of a neutral posture.
But depending on your height and how far back the person in front of you reclines, the tray table might not be your best option.
I think it's probably going to serve you well just for sort of a short stretch for a nap. I don't think you'll be getting the highest quality of sleep in that position.
So what about leaning back in your seat?
If you have to sleep in an economy class seat in a seated position, you are up against some challenges. Ideal state, your body would prefer to sleep in a fully supported lying down position. Your body already has to endure weight bearing and force through your spine, your hips, your pelvis, your lower extremities. When upright sleeping, ideally it is great if you can steal a couple degrees of recline from your seat back just to put your body in a little bit more of a supported sleep position.
Just be mindful of your neighbors. You can also adjust your back position.
Putting just a gentle cushion behind the seat back to support the spine is beneficial. The more head and neck support you can provide, the better chance you have at achieving some restful sleep.
And here's where a travel pillow comes in handy.
A lot of these supports are not all created equal. There are the tried and true U-shaped neck pillows. You want to keep your head and neck as neutral as possible against the unfortunate barrier of gravity and upright positioning. A lot of the ones that I like wrap around the neck and have a support just so they don't shift during sleep. They can sort of provide full neck support, so not just forward flexion, but lateral flexion, even some extension. It can hold your head in like a comfortable yet supported position for sleep.
And if you don't have a pillow, as a last resort,
you can try to make do with layers of clothing. I think the thesis here is that if you are in a scenario where you have to sleep or you're flying during evening hours, you have to plan ahead.
Besides pillows and posture, there are a few other helpful tips for sleeping on planes.
You might think about limiting light exposure with an eye mask or having layers or a blanket for thermal comfort, noise-canceling headphones just to limit some of the auditory stimulation on a plane.
When it comes to picking between the aisle, middle, and window seats, there isn't one best option for everyone.
It's going to be a bit subjective in terms of what people find most comfortable sleeping on an airplane.
If you need to use the bathroom or stretch frequently, the aisle might be your best option. But it also means you'll be woken up every time your seatmates need to get out as well.
I think if you can avoid the middle seat, that's probably the best advice.
And while the window seat can provide support, just make sure to add a pillow or piece of clothing as a cushion. Importantly, flyers should find a position that allows them to move around a bit while they sleep, like they normally would in bed.
The body is built to be dynamic, and your body needs those movement breaks in order to lubricate joints, to release muscle tension, to mitigate strain.
But for those people who still really can't snooze mid-flight,
it's always worth it to get an upgrade.